All right. Peace and blessings, family. It's your brother Atun Ra, melanated and illuminated, back in the building. We here, I always like to start off, let my people know peace and blessings and that I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all checking me out today. As promised, I want to make sure that y'all are still checking us out at melanatedilluminated.com. We keeping the shows rolling. Man, I know y'all can see me sweating, man. Today, man, we got a hot day down here in Texas. You know what I'm saying? We did, checking us out at melanatedilluminated.com. We keep upping the shows for the people. Right now, we have 12 shows on the platform now. I'm happy to keep building, and I appreciate y'all for sticking with me and working with me. Y'all see, rocking the Melanated Man of Action shirt today. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my peoples. But May is mental health awareness month, and it's a topic that I've been wanting to cover for a while. And I just been waiting to have the right person on so that we can build on it. And the brother that I'm bringing on today is a brother that I look up to as a big homie. I remember when I first met the brother, he was promoting his annual event that he was doing with the Mila's Journey Foundation. And one of the first things I remember him saying was that he was a grandpa. And I remember looking at him and I was like, nah, no way. I just know that when I'm a grandpa, I want to make sure that I'm, looking like this brother here, man. My brother Brian B, aka Big Sarge, what's good?
Hey man, what's going on, bro? Look, the little man, the grandson, just turned 3 on this past Sunday, so he a big boy too, man. But yeah, man. And listen, first of all, let me tell you that I appreciate it, and thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure to be sitting down talking with you, bro. Thank you for having me on the show, man.
For sure, man. It's always love, man. I told you I was gonna always look out for you, man, and I always will. Man, can we just let's just start off giving the people a little bit of introduction to yourself, what you do, and the foundations that you are, currently a part of.
All right, well, I'm Brian Barefield, and I'm an alcoholic. Whoa, wait, hold on. This is the wrong interview. My bad, bro. My bad. I'm on that 12-step program. But I'm Brian Barefield. I'm a radio personality, sports journalist. I have my own sports show called Sports Talk with Big Sarge on Century Radio Network. It's right here in Houston, Texas, from 2 to 4 p.m. every day. I write for Houston Style Magazine, Sports for Houston Style Magazine as well. And then on top of that, I am the co-founder, because Mila was the other founder, but I'm the co-founder of Mila's Journey Foundation. And what we do is the foundation is focused on helping young adults who are going through colon cancer. And our premise is we want to be able to help those let me say this. Let me start over. Colon cancer is what they consider an old person's disease, and it's not, because Mila passed away before she was 40 years old. They don't really want to give you a colonoscopy until you're 50 years old. So if you are diagnosed with colon cancer before the age of 50, they really don't have anything for you. On top of the fact that they don't have anything for outside of like breast cancer. There's really nothing. The other cancers just fall by the wayside. They look at the kids' cancer. So Mila's Journey Foundation, what we've decided to do, my wife's vision. Mila Barefield was my wife, passed away from colon cancer September the 5th, 2017. She had an idea that she woke up out of her sleep. And so what we do is we have colon cancer bags. We pass them out to chemo patients. They have socks, coloring books, word searches, blankets in there. And as a matter of fact, today is the 8th of May. So every 8th of the month, our friend who passed away, Marcel Miles, he passed away from colon cancer as well before the age of 50. He started Rock the Socks, and so I wear crazy color socks. I also am the founder of Screaming on the Inside Men's Mental Health. And this month on the 19th, we have a mental health conference that's coming up called One Day at a Time. So other than that, man, I'm just a regular old dude. That's about it.
Man, I remember, being in the studio with you and Miss Mila. And, I can obviously, see that she was in a little bit of pain,
Yes.
Just from the day-to-day life. But, man, one thing, we took a break, she kind of, adjusted and got settled. But, man, when that microphone and that camera came back on, man, she was on it like she, you know what I'm saying? Like nothing was going on. Like she snapped it on and was ready to perform. And I know her energy and her presence, you know what I'm saying, is still with us and it's still with you. And I just want to, keep encouraging you to keep the word going on about health, just health period. Because I think that's something that as a community, we don't collectively take serious, until it's too late. And so, with you being proactive and you investing so much time and resources, your own time and resources into spreading and sharing this information to the people, I just want to say thank you for that. So what else do y'all what else y'all have going on right with Mila's journey?
So I'm currently in the process of doing a 5K in all 50 states in order to bring awareness to colon cancer and to mental health issues. That's just mental health across the board. So so far this year I've done 2 states because my schedule kind of got busy. But this summer I plan on getting out and doing a whole lot more. And every state that we go to, every state that I go to, I make sure that I stop by a cancer center and give out those chemo bags because those chemo bags are free. So all I ever ask for is donations of socks, coloring books, or word searches, or if you want to make a monetary donation, I'll take that money, put it in the business account, take it out of the business account, go buy socks, blankets, and things like that. So I'm trying to bring awareness to colon cancer and to mental health because what a lot of people don't realize is when you develop a terminal illness like cancer, you also develop mental health issues. My wife didn't have any mental health issues before she was diagnosed with cancer. Then after that, man, I think she had anxiety, depression, and it was one more thing that I can't think of. So if I can get the word out and spread the word that, it's okay to go see someone. If you have to take the medications that's prescribed to you, take them. If you don't. If you can do it natural, if you can do it herbal, whatever the case may be, but just make sure you get the help. I always tell people that the strength is in getting the help when you're dealing with mental health issues.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, man, before we jump too deep into that, I know you're you're one of my sports aficionados, that I listen to regularly just because with my lifestyle, I don't really get to watch as much TV or anything else like that I used to. And then, of course, last year, I was on my boycott. The NFL. So I didn't get to check it out. But one thing that did kind of pop up, besides the whole Kaepernick and everything like that, I want to ask you, man, where's your boy Dez Bryant gonna end up?
You know what I mean?
And I'm just saying that as a Houston Texans, and I know you with the boys, as a Houston Texans fan and a self-proclaimed lifelong Cowboys hater.
Yeah.
I always like Dez. You know what I'm saying? I always liked him. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Your boy got cut. And, of course, the production and, everything else like that comes into play. But, I always just think about, like, how if Dez would have left in his prime, he would have been a traitor. He, you know what I'm saying? He not loyal. You can't trust him. but he stayed the course, and they get rid of him. It's just a business decision, and that's just how things go. But we kind of chastise athletes for taking the power in their own hands. But where do you think Dez going to end up?
Well, here's the thing. So I always tell people this too, especially in sports and especially football. When you're winning, it's a game. When you're losing, it becomes a business. So when they always say, "Oh, you get a king's ransom for playing a child's game," yeah, until I start losing. With Dez Bryant, the issue with Dez is that Dez got knocked upside the head by blind loyalty. He was so loyal to Jerry Jones, and in the end, Jerry's the one who ended up, messing him over. The problem is they cut him entirely too late. So when they cut him, the teams had already started preparing for the draft. They had already signed all the free agents that they were going to sign. If Dez would have hit the market when Sammy Watkins hit the market, he would have got that Sammy Watkins money first. And so he got cut so late that now what teams have to do is, just like this week, Friday and Saturday, I have to prepare to go to the Texans are having their rookie mini camp. So they're going to have their rookie mini camp. Then they're going to go in the summer. They're going to have the rookie mini camp is first, then the mini camp. Dez is going to have to wait till later on until these teams start figuring out what they have. And that's why Jerry messed over him, because he waited too late. Or he didn't wait too late, but he could have cut Dez early. They knew that they knew they were going to cut him. They should have let him go earlier so he could get out there and find another job. And that's why, when I heard Dez Bryant come back and say, "Oh man, I got so much love for Jerry Jones, and I got so much love. Jerry has always done this, that, and other." No, man, Jerry's a businessman, bro. At the end of the day, it was just business for him. You were just another asset that now he cut, that he got rid of, and now you're out there on the market looking for a job, and it's not going to come until he may not get signed till July or August. He may get signed right around the preseason.
Yeah, sounds about right. And like you said, how Jerry done treated it as a business, and how they could have cut him, a long time ago, but they intentionally held him.
Exactly.
Past that. Now, just kind of switching sports, man. Do you think your boy LeBron gonna stay in Cleveland next year?
We talked about that earlier today on the show. I think that if LeBron wins a championship, he ain't going nowhere. His legacy will be sealed in Cleveland. That'll be 2 for the city that didn't have any. So if they win a championship, which I highly doubt, then because the Rockets are about to advance right now to the Western Conference Final, and then right after that, the Golden State Warriors will. So if he stays, if they win. If they don't win, he explores leaving unless he can get a big name free agent to come with him.
Yeah, and I wouldn't. I got to make sure that while we're on the subject of NBA, man, we have a moment of silence for those Toronto Raptors. Because
now, what's so funny, man? It's so funny because I know we're going to get into mental health, and with, I wonder how much. So you just had 2 organizations in the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Toronto Raptors who had 2 of their star athletes come out and say that they have mental health issues. And DeMar DeRozan with the Toronto Raptors and Kevin Love with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're becoming advocates for mental health. Well, there's one person that needs to come out and say that he has mental health issues, and he won't, and that's Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry, outside of the fact that LeBron gave all the Toronto Raptors PTSD, but outside of that, right. Kyle Lowry, you can look at him and tell, man, it's just something about the look. If Kyle Lowry was my boy, I put him to the side and be like, "Hey, bro, are you going through something? You probably need to seek some help." He, on the court and off the court, he always looks like he's spaced out and like he needs help, but he's afraid to admit that he needs help.
Man, I was watching a pretty good piece last night. As I was just looking over some information for today, I just so happened to come across an interview or a piece they were doing on Royce White. I believe that's the man. From the Rockets. And, he was just kind of speaking on his journey. and how, he's been a strong advocate for mental health within the NBA community, and how I even remember back when he was getting drafted and coming on the team, and the narrative was him being uncooperative and everything else like that. But like, if you really like listen to him talk, like, first of all, real intelligent brother. You know what I'm saying? Real articulate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't realize, you know what I'm saying, the brother was that smart. But just listen to him tell his journey, we'll tell his story, and about how how he became interested in, like, how he became bigger than the game. You know what I'm saying? How he became more than just shut up and dribble. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I know I'm not the only one that's going through this, and nobody else is talking about it. And yeah, I may be the one that end up being blackballed, but at the same time, I'm going to talk to David Stern with the commissioner at the time, but I'm going to talk to the commissioner. I'm going to talk to these teams about what are y'all doing to advocate for, let's take players out of the picture. When an employee stands up and says that, you know what I'm saying, I'm going through something. And this, when you're talking about the NBA, their resources are out the window. And so, just looking at the way they kind of treated him. But
that was a young man that was a fly, right?
Correct. And his thing was, he was able to fly. He was just worried about the stress of an NBA season and consistently flying. What would that do to him? And that's when he said that his anxiety really came up. Like, when I'm flying for 3 weeks at a time, you know what I'm saying? Not just a flight here or there. And that's why he was asking them, in the games where he could, to have a bus and, everything like that. But
what's funny, man, is that when I go back and I think about growing up, and I think about, seeing older gentlemen, not, up to and including my relatives, I didn't realize how real anxiety was until I got it. But when I go back and I think about them growing up, it's like they had it, but they were always it was always under the mindset of the stigma of, hey man, get your stuff together. Ain't nobody got time for that. Get yourself together. And they were really going through the mental health that really, because anxiety will get you so revved up, bro, that you just like, I put it like this. When I have a panic attack, I have to, but it depends on where I'm at. I can catch them at any time. And when I do, I can feel them coming on. So I try my best to get to wherever I can to be in a calm state. But a lot of people still to this day will still be like, oh man, just ain't nothing wrong with you. Just breathe, calm down or whatever. Calm down. No, man. I remember I had a panic attack when I was in the military, to the point where it sent me to the emergency room. I thought I was having a heart attack, bro. And so anxiety is really real, and a lot of people don't understand that and get that through their head, especially people of color.
Right. And that just kind of leads into, what I want to build on today. So, like, in your opinion, why do you think that, mental health is such a, taboo within our community?
Well, that's because, okay, so, I'm old, bro. Like, I'm old. I'm 46 years old, man. So I'm an old man. During my time growing up, and the thing that from my generation till now, well, I take that back. Within the last couple of years, it's just starting to change just a little bit, because the younger generation is starting to see that, wait a minute, we have issues. But bro, you got to think about it, man. I grew up in a time where you didn't tell your business to anybody outside of the pastor, one of the elders of the church, your grandmother, and maybe an aunt or your mom's best friend. Which none of these people had degrees. None of these people were licensed. None of these people were certified. So they didn't know how to handle mental health issues. All they didn't want to get out was that you was crazy in their minds. They didn't want anything to get out. And you have to remember, bro, in our community growing up, man, we've seen a lot of cheating. We've been molested. We've been through hard times. We've been through a lot, to the point of where we needed the help, But you don't run out and tell nobody. You don't run out and tell anybody that you're having mental health issues, or you're forced to be at the same function or in the same house with the person that molested you. And that's just something that you had to get over. So during my generation, man, nobody, and it just carried on from generation to generation to generation to generation. And once that happens, man, it took a long time for us to start breaking out of that cycle and getting out of that. We don't need to see anybody. We don't need to see anybody, but we do. And especially from the love, when we seek advice and help from our loved ones, you got to go into it with the mindset of they're going to give us some biased opinions, because they're going to sugarcoat it, or they're going to put it into a point to where it doesn't sound so harsh. But when you go seek counseling, man, that counselor don't know you from a hole in the ground. So all they're doing is listening, and they're going to give you they're going to respond to whatever you're telling them unbiasedly. And we didn't have that growing up, man. And that's what's happening to our community.
So what are some like common, or start some beginning stages of signs that a person may be having some mental health issues? Because I'm using mental health because I know that that's kind of an umbrella term, because there's a lot that falls under that. But what are some noticeable signs?
So it depends on what you're dealing with. Let's just use depression for example. Some people are clinically depressed. They are very clinically depressed. Let's just put it that way. But you have the people on the outside looking in that'll tell them, man, maybe you just bored. Stop being sad. Get out and do something, or whatever the case may be. So I tell people, it's not that they're either sad or bored, they're depressed. Or you have people, I think I put this up on a status on social media one time, that when you see people posting a lot on social media, it's not that they're like seeking attention. Maybe they have a social anxiety disorder, to whereas they don't want to go out, they can't go out and be around people. And that's their best way. Using an electronic device is their way of communicating. I have a young lady that I know that lives in my community. She didn't realize that with her daughter until she took her to in to seek help. So what she would do is take the phone, take the computer, and force her to go outside until she realized there's something wrong. Let me go get my daughter some help. Now, when you're dealing with PTSD, I tell people now, Hurricane Harvey has caused so many men to have PTSD. A lot of people there's the biggest misconception that PTSD is only a firefighter, a law enforcement official, or a military thing. No, you got men who watch everything go away. You got families who lost everything. PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. So when you ask you got to look at those little signs like that. Like, what have they been through? If they've been through something, I put it like this. There's a lot of strong people in this world, brother. But there's only so much that a person can take. And if you know that person has been going through something, if you know that it's like on top of things, I got a friend that works at the VA. She's lost at least 5 to 7 loved ones back like that, bro. I'm thinking at least 5 people like that. I know she's going through something. So every time I see her, I make sure I talk to her. I go interact with her, because she could be on the possible verge of a breakdown. Now, right. For me, I'm not gonna lie to you. How I knew that I needed help, and this is something that I reiterate for the Men's Mental Health Conference as well. How I knew I needed help was I got to the point where I started seeing people as objects, and I didn't see gender anymore. So there were women inside my office. I was still in the military. There were women inside of my office that I felt like I needed to destroy, women and men. But when I started, it was like, wow, after I got the help and I started seeing, I was like, man, I could have really hurt women. But at the point in time, I didn't see them as nothing. And they had messed with me so long, man, that my mental health issue just kicked in. Because a lot of people don't know, bro. The reason why I smile a lot, the reason why I am the way that I am, I've been diagnosed, bro. So you know how they have anger management issues? I have been diagnosed with internal rage. And my the people that take care of me, they don't. The reason why they watch me so close because they're like, Brian, we don't know what's going to set you off, and whatever it is that if it sets you off, we're gonna lose you because you got so much rage on the inside of you that we don't know if we can control it if it comes out. I didn't mean to get long-winded on you, but
no, that's real. And I mean, just piggybacking on your point about PTSD, that's kind of one of the reasons why now, like, I refuse to share any videos of black men being shot by cops. You know what I'm saying? Just because, I mean, as you know, living down in Houston, we got how many police agencies, and as a young man, I've been pulled over by them all, from all the constables to Jersey Village to Metro to Bel Air to all, and like now that that we're able to get a glimpse into what's going on in all these different sections of the country. Just seeing those videos, like I remember, watching several, throughout the time, from Alton Sterling to, some of the other ones. And it's just like a hole, that I feel, with inside of me. And I haven't ever, went to like any like professional counseling or anything else like that. But, there was a point in time that I did have a friend that was a therapist that, that I had to talk to, because it was a point in my life to where I felt that I was losing all the women around me.
Yes.
It was like within the same year, me and my daughter's mom broke up. My mom got sent to prison and my grandma died. Yeah. And so like, I was just like, I was lost out here. And, luckily, I had the friend that was actually certified and that, was trained and was able to help me, through that period of time in my life. But, after I came out on the other side, I was able to start observing my friends and family. And that's when like my mind and my eyes really got open, to see how many of us Black, specifically Black men, are dealing with all of these issues that we feel that if we talk to somebody or go seek help, that's going to make us less than, That's going to make us weak.
Exactly. And that's the problem, bro, is that, like I said earlier, the strength is in getting the help. The weakness is in keeping it in. When I start, so I've been going to counseling and for 5 years now. I think 2013. I did not realize how much I didn't realize how absent I was when it came to my wife and my family before I sought help. I didn't realize that as much that I was going through here and then going through with my issues, then the Army, then my wife, then the kids, and then the world in general. I didn't realize how absent I had made myself, and especially for men that have families. Like you could be there physically, but mentally you're gone. And if you're mentally gone, you're no good to your family because you're not going to be able to address this problem or this problem or this problem because you're absent-minded. Because you got so much going on, man. But listen, when I come out of a session with my psychiatrist or my therapist, I'm mentally drained, bro. To the point where I go outside the VA and sit on the bench, and I just sit there. I may go live to tell people, "Hey, look, I just came from my therapy session." Not only do I preach it, I go to it as well. So it's one of those things, man, where we've got to seek help, and that's the one thing we don't want to do.
Right. And I think that, with everything, there's always two sides to the story. Like in this current social media environment, it's definitely goes without saying that some people share too damn much. Some people put too much out there. But, with that being said, the other side of it is also to see brothers like yourself being being open to sharing with the world that that I'm going through this journey, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I think that also is something that more brothers like, you know what I'm saying, like myself need to keep doing, because you don't realize, like, the people that's watching you and that look up to you, or that see that, hey, you know what I'm saying, I thought this brother was strong as nails and he has no problem sharing his journey. Maybe there's nothing wrong with me going to go do that. Or maybe there's nothing wrong with, you know what I'm saying, talking. And so I think that's one of the good things that I do like about, you know what I'm saying, the social media environment, being able to peer into the lives of others, you know what I'm saying, to also get inspired.
Yeah, man. And that's one of the things too. I tell people that social media, it's a blessing and a curse, and I say it's a curse because I think I posted today that, the worst thing about social media is that you used to just think that this person was dumb. Now they confirm it,
Right.
That right there is the curse. But I'm not gonna even lie to you, brother. If it was not for social media, I probably would be committed by now. I probably they would have committed me to a mental hospital. When you see me posting a lot, that means I'm going through something. When you see me posting consecutive back to back, because I'm in this house by myself, bro. It's just me. And right across from me, I sit on this couch a lot. I even sleep on this couch. And right across from me is a picture of Mila. And then a picture of Mila and I, a picture of Mila and I. And so, sometimes, man, I'll come in here on Saturday, bro. I was going through it like big time. But I knew that I had to do it from right here because I wasn't going to be good to anybody. See, the thing is, the great thing about going to get mental health help, seeking a professional, is that they help you to recognize your stressors. So when I sit in here and I'd be like, you know what? Okay, I'm just going to go on social media and just start posting comedy stuff, anything. Just keep going, because that's my interaction that's my interaction with people instead of just getting up and going out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hey, man, I live for them buzzing and petty posts, man. Oh yeah, hey man, my friends, man, like I'm a fan. I'm a fan of my friends, man. Just like everybody else, man. But you said a key word, figure out your stressors. Could you break that down for me?
Okay, so like for me, like I told you, okay, when my anxiety or my rage kicks in, let me give you an example. If I'm at the gym, right? If I'm at the gym, say I'm using some equipment, and I may step off to go do something. I come back and there's somebody on the equipment. Now I look at them, they look at me, and if they don't ask me if I'm using the equipment, this, that, another, I automatically get pissed off because I'm like, bro, I'm not just standing here waiting to see if you're doing it. My towel is still right there. You removed my towel. But I also know that I can flip out and I'll grab a weight and I'll probably go upside somebody's head. But I know and I can feel the anxiety building up. So now I know, Brian, you have to remove yourself from this situation. So I'll just grab my towel, grab my stuff, and I'll walk away. Be like, okay, I'll walk away. When I'm sitting here and I start to feel depressed, because I've been clinically diagnosed with major depression. This was before Mila passed away. So when Mila passed away, it just added on top of it. So I could sit here and I could start getting depressed. And I say, Brian, you got to do something. So I'll cut on an action movie, or maybe I'll just start rattling off 1,000, dating tips that piss men off because I keep giving away the secret better than Steve Harvey. But when I start feeling depressed and when Mila weighs heavy on me and that depression starts to weigh heavy on me, I try to say, okay, I got to find something to do. You know what? Let me start working on the show. Let me start reading something. I try to deflect because I'm not going to lie. If that depression gets a hold of me, bro, it's hard for me to get out. It's hard for me to get out of it. So when I feel stuff coming on, when I feel those stresses coming on, I try to do getaway or this, that, and other. Or I try to, I'm not gonna even lie, there's breathing techniques. So sometimes I'll be like, okay, Brian, calm yourself down. Calm yourself down. Calm yourself down. I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. Sometimes I could be on social media, bro, reading posts, or I can be reading responses to me, and I would get pissed off.
Oh
And
yeah.
want to just come back and say something so bad, bro. Just be like, F you, meet me somewhere. Where you at? I got gas money. I'll come to your spot. Where you live? This, that, and other. Meet me right here, bro. And then I had to think about it, Brian. It's social media. Most people are thumb gangsters. Keep scrolling, bro. Keep scrolling. You're getting yourself worked up behind words on a screen. It's a keyboard. Delete the post. Keep on going. So that's what I mean by the stresses.
Man, and I think you said, you know what I'm saying, the key thing about knowing how and when to remove yourself from the situation, and how it's best for you. You know, it's not about, you know what I'm saying, you looking weak or you looking like a pawn. Because I mean, I'm not sure if anybody have met Sarge, but the brother's in his upper 40s and probably could whoop most niggas that's in their 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like, still get with him.
I'm a big fan. I tell people I don't fight no more. I take you to court now. I just sue.
Damn right.
But you know what? Exactly. It's one of those things, man, where that's another thing. Like, for me to be the age that I know that I'm strong. I know that I am. I got that old man strength. Exactly, bro. And if I get my hands on somebody, I tell my mom this too. I'm a big okay guy. All right, man, okay. A big okay and whatever. Okay, or whatever. If I walk away, I'm walking away. Leave me alone. Let me walk away. But if you follow me, if I get my hands on you, everything that I've been going through for the last 2-3 years, if you beat me, then guess what? I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna keep coming back till I feel like I win. I'm gonna get all this frustration, this anger out. That's why I'm a big whatever, man. Okay, now my new thing is this though. My new thing, I got this from the First Lady, Melania Trump. Be best. Tell people be best.
Man, they gonna get mad at you like, yay, man. But
yeah, man, it's important for us to recognize our stresses, though, man. It's important because I'm pretty sure that there's been times where you've been at your job and you just be like, yo, man, I feel like I'm about to pop off up in here. You know what? Let me get up and go take me a break. Hey, I'm gonna go. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go. You know, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do that. I left something in my car.
Oh yeah, that's facts. And then, like you said, you know, definitely between work, community, businesses, wife, kids. You know, yeah, like you said, sometimes you need that time and that moment to where it's like, hey, you know what I'm saying, I'm just finna step away, and you know, gather myself, reset, and then, you know what I'm saying, come back to the situation. Man, but nah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So like, what advice would you have to you know what I'm saying, young men that may be dealing with you know what I'm saying, depression or, you know what I'm saying, anxiety at the moment? Because like you said, when you're young, you know, it's kind of one of those things, once again, shake it off, shrug it off. Are you being lazy? Ain't nothing wrong with you. What would you say to, you know what I'm saying, young people, you know what I'm saying, that may be, you know what I'm saying, coming out of high school, early college, or, you know what I'm saying, that may be going through something?
Well, I my very first thing I tell people is you have to recognize and admit that you have a problem first. Too many times we like to just whatever, we like to blow it off, or people be like, hey man, something don't seem right. Hey man, don't talk about me. You don't know nothing about me, bro. You don't know nothing about my life. Especially men, and especially men of color. Because we jump defensive first. We'll stick our chest out and our pride will kick in, and we be like, hey bro, don't tell me nothing. No, you don't. Hey bro, what you talking to me for, man? No, I don't even want to hear all that. Right? And so first thing you have to do is admit, wait a minute, man. Something ain't right. I don't feel right. I don't feel right when I'm going through. I've been through entirely too much. something ain't right. I feel like I get this rush of adrenaline. I don't know what it is. It's anxiety. It's a panic attack. So the first thing you have to do is realize that you need help. Realize, admit that you have a problem. Second thing is the second thing is seek a professional. Seek a professional. You have, I'm gonna tell you like this: you have a lot of people. You have a lot of licensed counselors at churches that will counsel you for free. You have different types of programs throughout the United States that will help you for free. Veterans have a line that they could call in if they're going through something. Like I think they got one for suicide, but then they got one if you just feel like that something is not right. So that getting that help part after you admit, then you get the help. And the third thing is you got to follow and go by what the people tell you to do. You've got to follow whatever that mental health professional is telling you. Stick to the plan. Don't deviate from it. Don't think that you know what's best, because you can set yourself back so far from not following instructions. And I'm going to use, men of color especially. Because, we feel like, oh, man, that don't pertain to me. So
Right.
if I ain't got to do all that, I'm going to go do, no. Man, look, I know that she got the degree, but she don't really know what she's talking about. I know what's best for me. Then next thing you know, you're back to square one, and she's asking you, so what happened? And then you have to tell her that such and such, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, but that's not what I asked you. Because a lot of people don't realize going to mental health, man, a mental health professional is not going to tell you to do anything. They're going to ask you. I've been in sessions, bro. I've been in sessions where I walked in, I ain't say nothing for the first 30 minutes. You know what my therapist said? This is your session, Brian. If you don't feel like talking, you don't have to talk. I mean, but if you want to talk, I'm here. I wish you would tell me what was going on, because then maybe I could help you, give you some advice. But if you don't want to, then you don't want to. That's how mental health professionals talk to you. They talk to you. They don't talk at you. And so, like I said, if I have to reiterate it, admit, get the help, and then follow the rules.
No, absolutely. And, as I've been, looking more into it, because, I said this other day, and, I kind of have a habit of, pissing people off with things I say. But I said, I'm a person that's big on economics and everything like that. And I do believe that, in order for us to build up the Black community, we have to build a solid economic base, in order to fund and support, a lot of initiatives that we want to do. But, just kind of the more and more I studied and researched, I said that, I believe now at this point, we need more mental health seminars than we do economic seminars. Because when you kind of look at the chaos that goes on between Black men and Black women on the community level, when you look at the chaos that goes on, like you mentioned, within the Black home, from abuse to molestation, to the church and other places like that we think are safe to, a lot of us seeing people killed at a young age, being harassed and, seeing people get harassed and killed by police at a young age, and consistently having that trauma triggered over and over and over and over again, that I really think that kind of at this point, we really need to, as a community, start putting our resources into getting ourselves right. Because I kind of believe that, like, when you're giving out solutions about economics and education and everything else like that, to a person that's been abused or a person that's depressed or somebody else like that, don't none of that shit matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. It don't matter. And so then, some of us that are so-called, woke or conscious or whatever, we start beating ourselves up because we're like, why don't our people get it? But it's like, we got to heal our people first before we can actually start thinking that they're going to actually understand the solutions of life because, and I'm pretty sure you can attest to it better than me. When you're in that state of mind, logical things mean nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about community building and planning and the future for the kids and all of that stuff. None of that stuff mean nothing in the moment.
Exactly. And I tell people there's two things. One, look at some, let's just use Prince, for example. Like Prince had more money than he could throw it. Prince could burn money if he wanted to. Michael Jackson could burn money if he wanted to, but they were going through mental health issues. The money wasn't able to cover up everything that they were going through. So even economically, when people be like, I could be better if I just had more money. No, because if you don't, like you said, if you don't get that healing and that restoration within yourself, then it don't matter how much money you got, because all you're going to keep doing is trying to go out there and throw money at a situation that money can't solve. Second thing is, especially one of my speeches for public speaking is addicted to struggling. See, a lot of people don't realize that struggling is a drug and it's an addiction, just like getting addicted to alcohol or to street drugs or to opioids, big pharmaceutical type drugs. Like, you have some people who ain't never leaving their situation because they've gotten used to it and they're addicted to it. That's why you have so many people who, quote unquote, won't leave the hood. Even if they come into a bunch of money, they're gonna blow it because they're so used to living paycheck to paycheck. They're so used to barely making it. They're so used to barely getting by. And for them, the struggle is real because they're addicted to it.
Man, addicted to the struggle. Now that's some real shit right there. Man, I have to use that one myself. And so you you have an event coming up on the 19th. Could you let the people know? Because I think that everybody needs to know about this. And this isn't the first time that you've done this, but let the people know about the seminar.
So on May 19th, 2018, at the KLVL Studios, which is located off of 45 North in the Beltway, right in the Greenspoint area. That's where the studio is located. From 9 to 11, there will be a free, let me say free. Conference. Free, and I'm feeding you. So it's free food too. Y'all, everybody needs some help. But it's a men's mental health conference, and it's called One Day at a Time. And one of my special guests is a former All-Pro center from the Oakland Raiders. And my friend that I went to high school with, Barrett Robbins, he's going to come out and he's going to talk about playing in the NFL and having mental health issues. Being addicted to substances and things like that. So he's going to come out and he's going to talk about it. But one of the reasons why, outside of he's my friend and we've been talking about this for a long time, Barrett puts up every time he puts up something on post something on social media, he always pretty much ends it with one day at a time, because he's taking the recovering steps one day at a time. Well, that's the exact same thing I say when people ask me, well, how are you dealing with Mila, being gone and passing away? How are you doing? And I tell them, I take it one day at a time. That's as far as I can take it. I cannot take it 2 weeks out. I can't take it 3 weeks. I can only deal, because people don't realize that every day is going to bring you new challenges. So I can only deal with the challenges of that day. I'm also going to have a certified life coach out there, Miss Dawn Paul. She's a certified life coach. Great, great, great person. Her spirit, bro, radiates you. As soon as you meet her, her spirit radiates onto you. You have no choice but to smile and talk to her, and she'll just and she's real. Then I have one of my professors who, first of all, Mila loved, and she helped me out a lot. And she's a licensed counselor as well, and I think she just started her own business. Miss Gloria Kessler, she's going to be on the panel, and Miss Dr. Dwan Reed, She's a licensed counselor as well. So I will have 2 licensed counselors there, 1 certified life coach, and a performer professional athlete, and my friend Arthur Jenkins, who at last year's conference uh, came out and admitted to us, and I've been knowing Arthur for, I don't know, over 20 years, admitted to us that he's been dealing with multiple personalities. And I'm saying to myself, like, black
Wow.
people always know in your mind, because you already know you got that jokester personality, you got that gangster personality, you got that
Right.
nerd personality. We always know that, but no, he really switched. He says that he would switch in his mind, being somebody totally different depending on the side of town that he was on. And so this year I asked him to come back and sit on the panel and talk about what he goes through on a consistent and a daily basis, man. So it's going to be a great event. I'm hosting it. My co-host Michael Tula is going to be out there hosting it as well. And we're just going to be talking, man. The licensed counselors is going to be there. They're not there to diagnose anything or anybody. They're just there to talk to you. And they may be able to give you a clinical term to go with while they're talking, but they're not there to diagnose. They're not there to give any type of medication, none of that. They're just there to talk and to help people and to guide people on how to get stuff out.
So what really like pushed you from simply going to therapy to actually hosting seminar?
Well, so one of my things was, and I want to bring it back to Miss Kessler again, Gloria Kessler. She was one of my very first professors. Because here's the thing: when I got out, I graduated from Purdue with a business degree. I got a bachelor's of business administration, information systems. Excuse me. So I already had a degree. When I got out, I went to community college in my neighborhood because I needed to if I was going to be an advocate for mental health, I need to know what I'm out here talking about. So I jumped into these classes and I took these classes, drug abuse classes, life therapy type class, family counseling, and then because I have a DSM-5 too, so I know how to go through and find out what's going on with somebody. Now, can I diagnose them? No, because I don't have that license. But I did not want to be out here. I knew that I want to be an advocate for men who deal with mental health issues because I suppressed mine for 2 years. So by suppressing it for 2 years, if I suppress mine for 2 years, I know that there's men out there that's been suppressing for 22 years. Bro, I've been in therapy, group therapy sessions with Vietnam veterans that's coming to get help for the first time. So that means that they've retired from the military 20 plus years. Then they go get a job that's another 20 plus years. So that's our 40 years of mental health issues bogged up. And they're here for the very first time in their 70s saying that they have an issue. They're finally getting help. So I knew that in order for me to be able to help men, that I had to know what I was talking about from the aspect of I deal with mental health issues, and then I also know what it's like. I also can be able to recognize pretty much men that have mental health issues because we're prideful, bro. We're prideful, especially men of color. Like I said earlier, men of color, we're definitely prideful because we always think in our minds that we have to be the providers, and for a black man, we automatically think we're the solution to every problem, and we're not. And we're not. And that's great to be confident like that. But on the flip side of that, you can ruin yourself by not getting the help.
Right. Nah, that's facts. And then, you look at it to where, the deeper you look into it, it might not even really be confidence. It may just be that insecurity that if I show weakness, somebody gonna come get me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna come try me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna treat me like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a little bitch. You know what I'm saying? If I'm out here looking weak, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
And we mask that as confidence, but it's really our insecurities.
Exactly. I got asked the other day, I got asked the other day when I was on Dr. Don has a radio show that comes on Fridays on Century Radio Network, 1480 AM, 94.9 FM, where it all comes together. No, just messing. She has a show, and she asked me, she was like, so who do men really get? I mean, how she asked me something about how do men take rejection? I was like, bad. It's like a lot of them won't admit it, but we hate to be rejected. I told us, like, look, when I was single before I got married, if I got rejected by a young lady, if I try to talk to a young lady, she rejected me, I really want to be at that point in time like, wait a minute, what did I do wrong? Was it my approach? Is it my clothes? What did I do wrong? Help me for the next time. You know what I'm saying? But then I had to walk away. Once again, our pride, when we get rejected, bro, we're just like, dang. And so with just another problem, added on another problem. Think about that. Think about that man who is up for a promotion. You know, he's been working at this job 12 years, and then somebody else has been working at 2 years, who's the nephew of the CEO of the company that gets the promotion. You see what I'm saying?
Jeez. yeah. Nah, that's all too real. So, how can people sign up for the health seminar?
Actually, I was going. So I didn't put it on Eventbrite. I was going to put it on Eventbrite, but then I said no. There's no sign up. You just come. So what I'm doing, I have flyers that I've been passing out, and it's word of mouth, and I say it every day on the radio. I put it out. I just want people to come. Last year I made an Eventbrite, and some people registered, but you don't have to register. It's open, bro. It's open to the public. I just want, and what I want to say is, I know I've been talking about the men most, but I really, really and truly would love the women to come out. And if you can't, bring your kids too, because you need to hear what these men, or the men in your family, is going through. So if your spouse wants to come, ladies, come with him. If your significant other wants to come with him. Your uncle, your brother, your god brother, your co-worker, any associate, come with him. Because if he's coming, he's letting you know it may be something that you need to hear on how to deal with me. So it's for women as well. So I purposely did not make it like an Eventbrite type thing where people can register and all that, because I don't want people to, if they register, they're gonna feel obligated. I want them to, if you're gonna come, just come.
Right. Now that's facts, and I'm gonna make sure that between now and next weekend that I mention it. You know what I'm saying, as much as I can within those that are amongst my age group, because I feel I really want to push this narrative to really just kind of start to break that stigma that something is wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying, you want to seek help, because like I said, the reality is I think damn near all black men need to seek some type of treatment. Like that's just the reality, you know what I'm saying? From and there's been studies that have been shown that, you know what I'm saying, dealing with consistent discrimination, you know what I'm saying, can affect, you know what I'm saying, your mental health or your state of well-being. And I think that, you know what I'm saying, just you know what I'm saying, living in the environment that we live in, you're more than likely predisposed, you know what I'm saying, to going to like I said, just being triggered, you know what I'm saying, whether you live in the hood or whether you live in the suburbs, you know what I'm saying, like it doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying, because like, you know what I'm saying, when you're a black male, you know what I'm saying, you're dealing with it, you know what I'm saying, on both ends. You can think you're gonna move out there to the suburbs and everything, but then you dealing with a different level of, you know what I'm saying, discrimination on possibly being the only brother, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of scenarios, and you know,
I've been
things like that.
I've been that.
Yeah. So
And
you know,
can I
man.
say one more thing before I go to, man? It's
For sure.
this is, you know, being a proud veteran of the United States Army. I definitely, and I'm reaching out right now to everybody who's watching and listening. I'm reaching out to all active duty military personnel that may be in town on, you know, that, because there's not really a lot of bases around us. I think the closest one, well, we have one out in NASA, but that's a reserve post in, you know, Fort Sam Houston, and I forgot the Lackland up in San Antonio. And if I would love for people to come down, but I would also love veterans to come out too, because I've been in the Army and I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have your CO tell you, suck it up and drive on. I know what it's like to have your CO tell you that your family can go, but you can't go. Your mother-in-law has a 10% chance of living. You can't go. The family can't go. The unit is supposed to pay for the family. Now the unit doesn't want to pay for the family to go. Now you're like, okay, so what do I do? But on the flip side of that, now you let one of the officers go to be with his aunt. You see what I'm saying? So you think that there's a lot of racial discrimination that goes on in the world. There's a lot of racial discrimination that goes on in the military, and you can't say anything. On top of the fact, let's just move out racial discrimination. There's a lot of rank discrimination. So in the Army, man, and this is what a lot of men have to deal with as well. Let me say this, and then because I ain't trying to be too much long-winded on your show. One of the things that I had to go through was I went into the Army at a later age. I was 36 years old when I went into the military with a degree, a grown man. You know what I mean? So I'm standing in formation, and I'm older than my drill sergeants, or the same age. I'm in AIT, which is advanced individualized training school. After you go to basic training, you go to the school for your job. I'm there with I'm older than my platoon sergeants. I get to my unit, I'm older or as old as senior enlisted NCOs and officers. So what do I automatically with the E4 rank now? With a grown man with the E4 rank. So I walk in, I'm articulate, I can enunciate and pronunciate my words. I can do the job, get the task done, or whatever the case may be, but I become a threat, right? And then on top of that, when I say rank discrimination is in the military, so to tear me down as a man, you're not talking to me, you're talking at me, and not only are you talking at me, you're talking to this rank. So if you outrank me, it's do as I say, not as I do. No matter if you have a better idea, no matter if you have a better way of doing this. No, just do what I say. Look, matter of fact, go to parade arrest. So now they're putting you at a position to whereas you're submissive. And then they say this, that, and other. So, when I became an NCO, bro, when I became an NCO and I had troops up under me, what I would do to them is we would go into the room, whatever I had to put out, whatever task, I put it out. After that, I tell everybody, take their ranks, I'll put them on the table. Everybody take their ranks, I'll put on the table. So now we're still soldiers. They know I still outrank them, but now they know once I take that rank off, I'm talking to you we've already put out the things. I didn't talk to people, but I'm just like, okay, so what y'all got? What y'all think we could do? You little young Thundercats, what y'all think we could do? How can we do it better? And they appreciate that. And now some of my soldiers went on to become NCOs, and they're great NCOs. That's because I treated them like people. So there's a lot of veterans going out that has to deal with that type of stuff, man. Been bogged up from the Army.
Man, I think we definitely gonna have to do another one after the seminar, and just man, anytime, saying you're welcome. I think we may need to do a Buzz and Petty segment, you know what I'm saying? Like drink champs, you know what I'm saying? Just
you
be
come to the studio, bro. When you get a chance, come to the studio, man. Sit down, let's talk, let's chop it up.
Oh man! Before you get out of here, let the people know how can they get in contact with you, and also how can they hear your show?
Okay, so in order to get in contact with me, if you go through Twitter, I'm at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end, not an S, with a Z. On Facebook, I'm just who I am. I'm Brian Barefield. Once you pop it up, you'll see a picture of me and my late wife Mila right there. That's my profile pic, so that's how you know it's me. Instagram, I'm the same thing at Big Sarge Sports. on the radio aspect of it, the radio side of it, I'm at Synergy Radio Network on Facebook. So if you want to watch my show stream live, Sports Talk with Big Sarge, just go to Synergy Radio Network app. I'm sorry, I said app, but we do have an app. Go to the Synergy Radio Network page, like it, and then you'll get the notifications once I pop up. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm on the air Monday through Friday. And you can listen to us if you're in Houston and surrounding areas, 1480 AM, 94.9 FM. And there is a Synergy Radio app that you can download and listen to me while you're sitting in your cubicle because you can't get on Facebook. But you download that Synergy Radio app. You can listen to me live every day, talk about everything from Mary J. Blige's ex-husband being a weak man because he wanted spousal support, to the lady blowing up her pee in the microwave in Denver, to the Rockets advancing to the Western Conference Finals, what the Astros going to do. So, man, my show I call it gumbo. It's a mixture of everything, bro. It's a mixture of everything together. And call in. That 2 hours of the day is therapeutic for me, bro. That's how I'm able to deal with the rest of my day. That 2 hours of that day, I just get it out. That's why I tell people, encourage people, call in, man. Call in, let's talk. So like I said, bro, I appreciate it, man.
Oh man, I appreciate you coming through, man. And I appreciate you for being you, man. Like, you don't even know, you know what I'm saying, how much, you know what I'm saying, I look to you for inspiration on a lot of different levels, but mainly just for the fact of that you're willing to put it out there. You know what I'm saying, your life, your journey, everything, you know what I'm saying, from you to Mila's journey to, you know what I'm saying, your walk with mental health, you know what I'm saying, life after the passing, you know what I'm saying, of your wife, you know what I'm saying, your health. And then, you know, so just all around entertainment, man. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. I want you, you know what I'm saying, to keep doing you. Like, you don't know, man. You got supporters behind you, man. We here.
Thanks, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Thanks, we ain't gonna let the man get you. You know what I'm saying? They try to come for you. You know what I'm saying? You got to, you know what I'm saying? You see the RBG and the flag behind it. So, you know what I'm saying? We coming, man.
Will I be able to go like this?
Yeah. That's all you gotta do. You ain't gotta say nothing. You ain't gotta say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just point. We following their formation, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you again, bro.
For sure. Well, man, make sure y'all go check us out, melanatedilluminated.com. We're gonna have this video up. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. We're also gonna put it on SoundCloud so you can check us out. Your brother Atum Ra. Hey, peace, family. We out of here.
Thanks, bro.